Welcome to Zonie Living. This edition will be one you'll want to play again and again. If you've ever wondered how some people can look great, whether they are attending a gala or washing a car, it could be because they are clients of expression expert Bobbie Casalino-Lewis. Fashion is what you wear, style is how you wear it. I would love to help you fashion your style, she says. And she means it. She wants us to show up on the outside as we are on the inside, and she wants us to do it now and at every age. Bobbie has many layers to her life, her personality, her background, and what she brings to the world. But if you could only use one word to describe her, it would be glow. That's Glow. And that's what she brings everywhere she goes, even to our closets. Bobbie has this unique ability to figure out our individual style, physically go into our closets, put things together we might not have considered before, and expand our wardrobe with a list of specific accessories that would complete the picture. She promises, and these are her words, you will never be in a situation where you don't know what to wear because I'll be a phone call away. Bobbie also has released her wonderful, beautiful new book. It's called So That's What 70 Looks Like, The Essence of Aging Gracefully. Just look at this gorgeous woman in this gorgeous gown. This is Bobbie Casalino-Lewis, joining us today from California. Hi, Bobbie. You're in Los Angeles.
Yes, I am.
Fantastic.
A gloomy Los Angeles at that, but that's why you'd think I was in Montana or something with the turtleneck on. But
You look fabulous as always.
oh, thank you.
In your book, you take us on a journey through 12 essences. To illustrate these essences, we see you fashionably presented as an aerial artist on a beach, underwater in a pool, and you are in incredible shape, by the way. We see you with your two dogs looking fierce. Let's dive into some of these essences. Your leadership style is described as leadership and fellowship, bridging people together. This worked well for you in your career on Wall Street. Would you share a little bit of background with us?
I'd love to. Wall Street was quite a trip. If you've seen any of the movies from the 70s and 80s, that's when I was there. I left Wall Street and moved to California in 1992. So I was in the mix for quite some time. And I ran the installation of trading rooms for a company that manufactured the multi-line telephones that the traders would do their transactions over. And I wound up rising to the position of a vice president on Wall Street in an all-male firm in 1981.
Wow.
And I had a team of 23 project managers, all women, because they're the only ones that could multitask. And and that's not sexist at all. We tried. Guys would just say, I'm out. I'm out.
I think they know that. Yeah.
Yeah, they go, I'm not doing this. So, and one more beautiful and more gracious and more lovely than the other. So, and it was a matter, you get that many women together, that's quite a contest to get them to work as a team.
I can imagine that it must have been such a big difference from your time in that career to your time in Los Angeles today. One of the highlights that I enjoyed in your book was your dramatic, exuberant essence. And you write, I live in a no drama zone, yet dramatic is another story entirely. Architecture, extraordinary splashes of color, sharp angles, and asymmetrical cuts in clothing make my heart beat a little faster. And I was thinking the same thing when I was reading that, as does your red Corvette. I am sure that you were able to manifest. Yet you note that you're not a fan of drama, and you describe yourself as a Pollyanna, that problems can be surmounted with a positive attitude.
Mm-hmm. And kindness. I think kindness even before anything else, just everybody's got their day. And, I am very exuberant about my red Corvette. So exuberant, in fact, that I didn't appreciate getting pulled over recently for going too fast by the policeman when I was on my way to rowing in the morning at 6 o'clock. I was like, seriously, you don't have anything better to do than come out here and shoot fish in a barrel? Come on.
Well, you can't hide in a red Corvette. And I think you told me that you had an experience with an Arizona highway patrolman as well.
Yes, I did. And that's in my book. It was hysterical. It was hysterical. He was
So,
so cute too. He was
uh,
so
that's what I love. You made it such a beautiful experience. I think that's fantastic.
At 116 degrees sitting on the side of the road while
Ooh.
they couldn't get their act together. Yeah, it was great.
What a great attitude. Well, another essence is your book is a romantic, which to you means glamorous. And that's the element of surprise that's your idea of romance, you write, because it has confidence all over it. Trusting yourself enables glamorous, which is being and feeling attractive or appealing in an exotic or exciting way. And when someone profoundly knows themselves, you say they need little or no propping up from others because they have done the work to align with their purpose. So they have a strong sense of self and willingness to be themselves. And all I have to say about that is, wow, you sure know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's that whole walking your talk, and confidence is an inside job. You can never get enough from the outside to fill you up, ever. And you'll always be hunting for it. So if you can fill up your own cup so that it's overflowing, then the rest comes naturally. And confidence to me is everything. It's it's I find it attractive. I think confidence is sexy. I'm not talking about cocky. I'm talking about true confidence, like truly knowing who you are and loving who you are and liking the way you show up. I mean, that's, all that woo-woo talk about being in flow and that kind of stuff. That's being in flow.
You know,
And by the
Bobbie,
way, TWW, the woo work. So I'm a woo girl. So I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm
nope.
all modalities. I'm loving it.
I love it too. I just wrote that down. And I wanted to mention that you have so much confidence. I mean, in every picture, it's super clear. You know who you are. And I was wondering at what point you really stepped into your own. Was that when you were working back on Wall Street?
I think I always had an inkling. I mean, there's some stories of that I didn't even put in there. I've got some other stories that would be hysterical and, just kind of thing. But humor, I think, was the way I sort of mitigated my fear. And I just always my dad taught me, when you're driving a car, put enough metal in front of the other car and they'll stop and you can go. And I used to deliver balance beams for him to schools because he just designed and developed beautiful balance beams and other gymnastics equipment. And I'd carry a balance beam, 18-footer on my shoulder into a school. And he always just told me, don't even stop at the office. Just keep walking like you know where you're going. And it was amazing. People would see me and they go, "Oh, the gym is over there."
Oh, there
They
you
never
go. You
question.
just look like you know what you're doing.
Exactly. So that was my training. So I think there was a thread of it always, but I'll tell you, when the huge turning point for me was in 2019 when I discovered a modality called human design. It's a sort of a combination of astrology and I Ching and numerology, all wrapped up into one. But I learned that each one of us comes to this planet with our own specific design. And that is the connection of the 64 DNA codons that make us up. And once I learned about my design, and really understood that what I instinctually knew to do was the right thing to do. Oh my goodness. It was like this huge sigh of relief. It's like, oh, so that's why. And then has been nonstop ever since. So there's an amazing ability once you honestly and truly have bona fide documented information that this is who you are and it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, yes. How reassuring. I'll have to learn more about that. From here, I'd like to talk about how you transform your clients through how they dress. And these are celebrities, TEDx speakers, executives, authors. Your talent is bringing what is on the inside of a person to the outside so that when they enter a room, they are expressing already who they are without even having to say anything. And that's magic. Can you share a bit about this, how this process works, and how your intuition plays into that?
I'm happy to. First of all, I think every single one of us is a celebrity. I don't deal with many celebrities, the Hollywood crowd. That's not my jam. But every time you walk out your front door, that's a red carpet. It's another opportunity to say, here I am. So if you regard it as that, it makes it fun. And when I work with clients, I'll talk about the TEDx because that's something that's more recent. I had said that I couldn't stand when I heard a great talk and then I opened my eyes and looked at them and they were so incongruous the way they looked with their talk. And I
Sure.
said, boy, if I had a chance to dress them for their talk, I would grab it in a second.
Wow.
And about 2 days later, a girlfriend of mine is on the TEDx committee in Manhattan Beach, California, and I was in. So
Wow.
when I work with clients, particularly those clients who are going to be on stage, going to be on video, going to do their website videos, going to do their website photographs and show their personality, the first time I meet with them is over the phone. No pictures. I do no research. I don't look them up on YouTube and Facebook or any place else. I don't want to know anything about them. I just want to talk to them. And I tell you, it is magical. If you listen, well, at least for me, if you listen, somebody will tell you exactly who they are. And then it's so easy to wrap them in their message. It's so easy. And it just transforms because I'm in people's closets all over the world virtually and some physically, but virtually. And I see things that are in their closet and pair them in a different way than they've ever paired them. And my favorite words are, oh my God, I love this, but I never would have thought to put these together. So their confidence is just needing to be acknowledged. Because most people that I work with, they go, I don't know what I'm going to wear. And I said, no, 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 don't worry about that. I'll take care of that. Let's talk about what you're going to talk about. Who do you
Wow.
want to reach? How do you want them to hear you and see you? What message do you want them to come away with? What is it about you that you want to share with them? And it changes the whole perspective. And all of a sudden, we've got a fairy princess or a prince charming on our hands who feels comfortable in their skin. They stand in that red dot or in front of that camera or wherever they are. They're not tugging and pulling at their clothes and questioning whether they look right. They know they do.
Wow.
And they're aligned to their message.
That's just incredible. And as you say, just by listening, you can make this happen. And that sounds so magical to me. Can you give another example of how you've changed the way somebody shows up that completely changed their confidence and their presence?
Sure. Early on, when I was bridging between getting out of the corporate world and getting out of the corporate world, actually getting out, I started taking on clients and I started exploring where was it going to go? I didn't retire. I just switched lanes. And so it's where I was going to go. And I worked with this one client she was maybe my age or older at that time. That's probably 10 some odd years ago. And I just changed up things a little bit for her and put on some colors. And she was always wearing black. And
Mm.
her husband gave her compliments and she called me up in tears. She said, Jerry hasn't complimented me in years and years and years.
Oh, that
And here he
well.
was noticing her in a
Just
whole new way. So, I mean, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do.
Truly transforming lives. I watched you on a YouTube interview not too long ago, and I think I may have told you since then when I get dressed, you're in my head in my closet. And one tip in particular is about directing attention to our face and share with us what that means.
Well, look what I'm doing, right? It's a V. I've got something of interest here, but it's up close. I've got these glasses on and doesn't show that well on camera, I guess, but some bright orange lipstick. And if you want people to listen to you, they need to see you. And making eye contact and making that visual contact is so important. You'll see when good speakers get on the stage, they'll take about 10 to 15 seconds to look around the room and make eye contact. They don't say anything until they have made eye contact. And then you can visibly see the audience because they've now taken that person, the speaker in. That audience visually and viscerally sits back and relaxes. They're not in flight and they're not in fright. They trust this person, but we're visual creatures. So you have to establish that visual comfort first before you can expect anyone to hear a single word you have to say.
I think you also said in your book something like, we waste a year of our life trying to figure out what to wear.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And that comes down to several things, right? Knowing what works for you before you buy it. And loving everything you bring in and making sure that every single thing that's in your closet is ready to wear.
Good tip.
Meaning it's tailored, it's clean, it's repaired, it's whatever, doesn't have any bad memories. No bad memories in your closet. Get them out.
Yeah, I like that tip.
But that I think is the easy part of it. I can actually go into my closet, which is pretty stuffed right now because I'm still an East Coast girl and do that seasonal swap thing. But I can get dressed most times without even opening my eyes, just by touch. Oh. And also, I dress for the day I want. Some days I want to wear this pair of shoes, so I'm going to build my outfit from the floor up. And some days I want to wear a specific purse or a scarf or a color or whatever. And then I build it around that. And I'm not forcing anything. It's just kind of, that's how I feel like wearing raspberry today. What color am I going to wear with raspberry? Ooh, I'm going to wear it with orange.
That's fun. Hey, I noticed also that you talk about shoes. Shoes is an easy fix if you want to change things up.
Yeah, and at any stage of our life, I think shoes are an easy fix. I remember being absolutely obsessed with a pair of shoes when I came home from break. I was on break from college, and I had definitely gained the 15, if not more, and but I could fit in the shoes. And then during I'll call it the pause. We were on Zoom so much and everybody, started being on Zoom all the time. I declared that earrings were the new shoes.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I love that. As a little girl, you would sew your clothes for yourself, and you talked about sewing them for your sister as well. You also talk about getting lovely hand-me-downs from wealthy neighbors and and relatives. Tell us about your childhood and how that life shaped you.
How much time do you have?
The condensed version.
I did not have a delightful childhood, I'll tell you that. My mother was a very unhappy woman. I was the oldest of 4 children.
Sorry to hear that.
I guess I was relegated to raising the other 3. So it wasn't that great, but I got involved in school and I found havens in friends' houses and stuff like that. And just decided who I wanted to be like. And I had a great role model of who I didn't want to be like in my mother. And then I just kept looking for people that I could aspire to be like. And I became very involved in school and athletics and cheerleading and you name it. I said yes.
Yeah,
So,
I love that.
and creative because there wasn't a lot of money either. I didn't grow up poor, but there wasn't a lot of money. And with 4 kids, you can only
Oh,
imagine.
sure.
And yeah, so my grandmother and my father's whole side of the family that survived World War II were actually in the clothing business. So it kind of was in the fabric of my soul to be involved with clothing. So yeah, I'd whip up little drawstring skirts and came up with ideas for halter tops and things like that. And yeah, so I've moved up the food chain, and when I was in high school, made suits and learned other stuff. I never really mastered tailoring. I don't like fixing things. I like making them, but I didn't like fixing them. So I take them to my grandmother and have her fix them.
Oh,
But yeah, but clothing has always been important to me. It's just always been important to me. I used to lay out my outfits when I was a kid for school in my closet. My father built us a walk-in closet. I shared it with my sister. And for the week, I would have all my clothes spray starched and ironed, the shirts and everything would be in outfits hanging in there. And what
aw.
was I? I was in middle school, junior high school. So I was in my early teens.
Oh,
So just has
that's a
always
great
been my
memory.
thing.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, there are so many layers to Bobbie Casalino-Lewis. She's a beautiful, masterful manifester. So, Bobbie, you manifested your red Corvette that we just spoke about, and that was a 2017 Stingray Grand Sport with manual transmission, which you picked everything down to the red interior, red on red. Also, you manifested your house. Now, these are big things. You also wrote down the date you were going to leave your job in New York City. How do you explain manifesting?
Well, first of all, you have to get very, very, very clear on what you want. And I was clear. I wanted to be paid to leave British Telecom within 2 years. And I put down the date. The date that I wrote it down was May 15th, 2011. And on May 15th, 2013, I got my check and I turned in my computer.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
Well,
So,
getting back to your book, so that's what 70 looks like. I believe my favorite part is where you describe your inner male essence as a gladiator. Love it. You write, still untamed after all these years when it comes to what I'm passionate about. And you describe this as fairness and injustice. That's when you had my heart, absolutely. When you wrote, I am a gladiator for my only child, Beau Saul James Lewis, for underdogs, people with disabilities, and ignorant injustice. There's no doubt you are a warrior, a true gladiator, Bobbie.
uh, well, and I like the look of gladiator on a female too. I love those. I have some sandals, that go all the
I
way
do
up.
too. I love it.
Yeah. So I mean, gladiator is kind of a fashion statement first, I think, and then it kind of fits the bill.
You also describe your inner core as a triangle with three pillars: kindness, bravery, and integrity. You say these pillars keep your life clean and simple. Tell us about that.
It's getting clear about what's important to you. When I first started learning about computer science, and that was back at Kent State University in 1970, and we had these room size computers, and there would be it'd be cards. You'd card punch cards, and they'd go through and they'd read the cards, and but every once in a while there was a card that they would call discard eligible. So that card was, it would be discard eligible. So with these three pillars of my life, bravery, integrity, and kindness, it makes other people and events and activities and opportunities and whatever discard eligible if they don't fit inside my triangle.
Mm.
So if there's something unkind about a person or a thing, then I'm going to say no, thank you. And and with the bravery and integrity, I mean, if you don't do what you say you're going to do and you don't live in integrity, I'm like, if you don't do that for you, how can I even hope you'd do it for me?
Mm.
So it makes it I think, really clean because you're not going through a whole list of things that is, would be qualifications. No, it's really simple. These are the three things that are my core values. Being honest, being brave, and being in integrity. So it's made my life very simple. And this is not something that I've always had. Maybe I had it, but I didn't, substantiate it. This is recent. In the last couple of years, I came up with this because I needed a foundation. And a triangle is the most sturdy of all configurations. So I thought, well, I'll have three legs to my stool and I won't fall over.
Hmm. Wow. Well, that's a great way to filter through everything. And as you say, keep it super simple and clean. Bobbie, you're just an incredible woman and so generous. In fact, the last page of your book says, "My mission is to help you feel great about yourself. After all, to glow, not a lofty goal because living well is our God-given right. However, as in my early experience, if you don't have the right mentor or one close at hand, you will always have me. Just a book's reach away. Happily ever after is a work in progress, and now you have a partner." I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts with us today. It's so beautiful.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. This has just been delightful. And you're causing me to tear up, which I do quite often. I'm not a crier, I'm a weller upper.
When I read your book, you made me want to be more fierce. And I felt so strong and just so close to you. When I finished reading it, I just felt like you had been talking to me. And I so appreciate that and encourage everyone to read your book.
Thank you. I did. I wrote it for you.
Oh, yes, you did. Thank you so much. Lovely talking with you.
Thank you, Bonnie. Same to you. And I can't wait for our next time together.
Yes, soon, I hope. Expression expert Bobbie Casalino-Lewis's new book, So That's What 70 Looks Like, is for all women and all enlightened men who support women. Find it on Amazon. Ladies, it will inspire you, and you can reach Bobbie at her website at bobbiecasalino-lewis.com. You can also read more about her in flagstaffbusinessnews.com and quadcitiesbusinessnews.com. And as we've heard from the expression expert, Bobbie Casalino-Lewis, knowing who we are and all the parts of our essence, living and dressing as our true selves, builds confidence and promotes authenticity. This is Zonie Living, business, adventure, and leadership. I'm Bonnie Stevens.